Ladies and gentlemen,
The Semi-Daily Night Show with Gary TV, your host, Gary.
Tonight's ceremonial first pitch. And please welcome the President of the United States.
We did it, sir.
Just making sure you're paying attention.
Welcome to the Semi-Daily Night Show. The border's in trouble. The Biden administration has pulled the reverse Uno card on the Trump border wall. Get it? Uno? I'm good. New York Mayor Adams also visited the border in Mexico, where he plans to deploy more of the robots I talked about last week. But it won't be long before the Clintons take that one out too. Biden plans to finish the border wall that Trump started after criticizing him for starting it, and if anyone is trying to enter the US, they need to do what Taylor Swift did and hide in a popcorn machine. Or also be seen by the other African American at the border. Elon Musk attempted streaming at the border in the weirdest IRL stream I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot considering some of the streamers today. He looks like me at Stagecoach. Elon has been saying citizen journalism is needed, and that's what he's doing. Now look, I'm a well-established journalist. My videos get pulled down all the time for my groundbreaking reports, like when I made Hillary Clinton push a robot in front of a train. But Elon's attempt at streaming went as good as anything he debuts on Twitter. I touch grass, so I'm not calling it X. The URL doesn't even call it X. The stream froze when he tried to turn the camera around. Even Snapchat can do that. Now it's a bit weird that the richest man in the world is trying to become a citizen journalist while standing on the border as an immigrant looking at other immigrants. But it's 2023 and things are only getting weirder. And I didn't have the richest man in the world cosplaying as a citizen journalist in my deck of cards. Uno cards. Speaking of people not being allowed in this country, China is taking back all its pandas. China leases their pandas, and this isn't the first time they've exploited a workforce. After Nixon visited China, they sent them over to zoos as panda diplomacy. That's a real term. China did this as promoting a mutual partnership, and now all the enclosures have to display #ad on them. China has loaned pandas out to multiple countries that they're building an agreement with, and the only country to refuse a panda loan was Taiwan, and I don't blame them. They could be spies. Watch Kung Fu Panda and you can see the damage they're capable of. And since Winnie the Pooh is pissed at us, they're taking them back as a sign of our foreign relations being weaker than bamboo. That was bad, I know. Taylor Swift is ruining society, according to a journalist at The Federalist. The news site no one reads is went after Taylor Swift in the newest article, which is brave, considering the Swifties are the only militia that I fear, considering they can cause earthquakes, and her concerts generate so much money, Zelensky's trying to go. The Federalist believes that the popularity of Taylor Swift is a sign of societal decline, because I can't think of anything else that was a bigger sign of our society declining. The self-proclaimed intellectual, dyspeptic Gen X guy with nothing to lose. The f*** does that mean? Now, I'm not a Swiftie. Big surprise there, but like anyone, I know all the words to that song. He said he groaned at her forced lyrics that said, "Did you hear my covert narcissism? I disguise as altruism like some kind of congressman." I thought that was kind of a bar. He said the lyrics were forced, like women force themselves to be impressed of this man. You deserve it, Mark. He goes on to ridicule her for having songs about breakups. I understand the frustration here, as the only female relationship he experiences is a $4.99 monthly charge. That's a Pillow Actress reference. The article is full of phrases that make you roll your eyes. Someone who just wants you to think they're smarter than everybody. At the end of the article, he ridicules her for not having more albums like the Beatles or Paul McCartney, given her resources. But if the Beatles were so good, then why aren't they at Coachella this year, Mark? F***ing idiot. There's a fake fire in Congress. Congressman Jamal Bowman did what Democrats typically do, fake an emergency to get people to listen to their political opinion. Jamal pulled the fire alarm as he was trying to start his own prank YouTube channel. Okay, not exactly. He did this allegedly to delay votes, but when asked, he said that the door that is usually open was not, so he thought pulling the fire alarm would open the door. This is someone that makes decisions for our country. Why do all of our f***ing leaders... I have to stand up for this. Okay, well, you're not going to be able to see me. I have pants on. Don't worry. Okay, now that we're here. Our leaders can't finish a sentence, some are hitting puff bars in plays, and one thinks he's on a Zoom call and can pretend to freeze when he gets a hard question. And the other, the leader of them all, enjoys adolescent danger sniffing. What the f*** is going on? I was going to continue in that position, but my knees started to hurt. Sorry, back to Jamal Bowman. Why no one believes him is because the man is an ex-middle school principal, where his school had a policy on pulling fire alarms falsely. But to be fair, middle school principals aren't the brightest tool in the shed. But everyone in middle school knows if you pull a fire alarm, you're the sickest kid for a week. The worst part about this is we got a Marjorie Taylor Greene video about it. She shows you what the fire alarm looks like, thanks, I didn't know, and tells everyone she wants Jamal Bowman prosecuted for federal law on this. And I agree, these YouTube prank channels are getting annoying. Sam Bankman-Fried has shown up again, so we have 6 more weeks of winter. The trial for the crypto nerd has begun in what would be called white-collar crime, except he dresses like shit, so I call it wrinkled-collar crime. SBF says he's not guilty, and the left believes him because he planned on doing good. But one key piece of evidence the prosecutors are using against the nap god is a piece of code that is written to his crypto exchange FTX. This man had code written that funneled the money to Alameda Research, his research fund he used to steal money from his platform FTX that was ran by his ex-girlfriend Madeline. SBF says this was an error. With an error like that, the Pentagon will soon hire him as an accountant. I gotta be careful. He also blames Karoline, which I can kind of get. She left him when he was broke, by saying she had bad risk management. To be fair, she probably does. She trusted a chubby vegan. How can you be overweight eating f***ing celery? The New York Times podcast is even running cover for his crimes. In the recent episode that I listened to, because I hate myself, no, they're actual podcasts, not the one I made up. The sympathizing of the scam artist isn't even surprising. The reason the left loves SBF is because he's the non-lizard person version of George Soros. He planned on funding a lot of Democrat officials' campaigns, but because he said he wanted to help the world, and even paid Donald Trump $5 billion not to run, the left has looked past the billions of crimes he committed. Get it? Billions of crimes, and stealing billions of money. It was funny to me, whatever. You. He also didn't think it was odd he paid $55 million for 20 hours of Tom Brady's time. He believes SBF was just doing modern philanthropy, and to be fair, modern philanthropy is just money laundering. Get out, Zelensky. Canada proposed new podcast law, and unfortunately it still allows Canadians to have podcasts. I'm pro-censorship of all Canadian podcasts. I'm tired of hearing 2 white dudes sit around a table saying, "Oh, fact bad." Yep, my voice is bad, okay? I do a better Trump. The law proposes that new podcasts must hand over info about the show and info on the listeners, which means the government will know you secretly listen to Call Her Daddy, which is just the new Ellen for girls who buy Plan B every month. It also says the shows have to support Indigenous communities and support Canada. Yes, the government is mandating podcasts to support equity. Now, the law only applies to podcasts that earn over $10 million in revenue, so that means we're going to see Jordan Peterson on the other side of the wall.
Up yours, woke moralists.